Hello, this is Diego Mangabira, and in this mindset episode, I'm going to talk to you about how your thoughts are connected to your future. I'll explain how there is a connection, both mental and spiritual, as well as psychological and emotional, that affects your life. So, based on these themes, let's talk about how this mental power can shape your future. Before we start this video, I want to invite those who are not yet subscribed to our channel to subscribe. Just click on the subscribe button below this video. If you are listening to us on another platform, you can access us now, whether on Spotify, iTunes Store, or even on your podcast on Android, at youtube.com/Diego Mangabira Brazil. Also, we always reiterate to click on the bell icon. By clicking on the bell, you will receive all our notifications firsthand, so you can receive our videos on your email or YouTube notifications and stay updated and never miss any new videos on this channel. Great, so let's go. When it comes to thoughts, we must understand that thoughts are essential, they need to be our friends. Many times, the condition or the meaning you give to your thoughts is that they are your enemies. And since they are your enemies, you can't handle them in a positive way. We notice this in relation to both clinical cases and scientific articles. If you do some research in terms of psychology, neuroscience, or quantum physics, and also within our methodology at the Academy of Alchemy of the Mind, we see that people have certain types of meanings for their thoughts. And these thoughts, for the most part, we speak from a scientific perspective of up to 97%, tend to be negative. But there is an explanation for this. Basically, every day, we have about 65,000 thoughts, and always, 95% of our thoughts are about the past. So, that's why this video is very important to you. If you are suffering from the past and not being able to move forward in your life, it's very important that you understand this. Because when we think about the quality of our thoughts and why our future is tied to them, we can't separate one from the other. We must separate the wheat from the chaff in the sense of conditioning your future in a more promising, successful, and prosperous way that brings you closer to yourself instead of focusing on the external. Instead of understanding that the one who needs the most help is you, and sometimes, not only external help but self-help. One of the main aspects is the quality of your thoughts. So, if we could qualify your thoughts now, if we could give a rating from 0 to 10, what score would you give your level of thinking today? I don't know what day you are watching, if it's live or if you are watching a replay. If it has been a while, whether it is morning, afternoon, evening, or midnight. Notice that there is a tendency. If it's midnight, you might feel this could help you reframe things, in the morning too, at night, sometimes to rethink your day. In the afternoon, you're still full of things, in the rush of work, and sometimes not thinking too much about it in a more relaxed, calmer way. My recommendation is, watch this video again later, maybe after a week, to understand and reflect again on this meaning. If you have a rating, for example, from 0 to 5, understand that today's score is due to today. If you give yourself an average score of 5, then you are average, but you can improve. If you have a rating from 5 to 8, let's say, you are on an ascending path. And if you consider yourself with a score of 8 to 10, it's okay to consider it that way. Sometimes, people consider this a lack of humility. No. Assume 10, because it's very important to understand that we also have this power within us. We have this condition, within our thoughts, to help us in decision-making. It's okay with that. It can be both in personal life as well as legal, intimate, it can be in relation to your professional career, your friendships, friends, co-workers, and it can also be in relation to some kind of business. You might create financial freedom, passive income, or sometimes create a business parallel to your job, or even start a business from scratch. Think about entrepreneurship. It is very important that you have clarity. So, some very important things about thinking. First, give yourself this rating. The second aspect is to think, why aren't things happening right in my life? You have to think that this right has a lot to do with polarities. We live in a third-dimensional world, not mostly, but already moving to the fifth dimension, in the sense of the new Aquarian age, both in mental, spiritual, and emotional terms. Today, we have professions that didn't exist, and I'm not talking about 50 years ago, I'm talking about 5 years ago. we didn't have the professions we have today. Technology, innovation, the economic development of the world as a whole. More people have access to energy, electricity, water, more people have access to resources. And sometimes, we just focus on material poverty, but more people are having access to financial abundance, material abundance, in a way that brings prosperity, brings more abundance, including growing in terms of inner development, spiritual development. So, if we live in a world of abundance from this perspective, and you understand that you live at this level of abundance but still do not feel worthy, do not feel qualified, are afraid of the past, have limiting beliefs from the past, that's okay. The main aspect is to understand, at this exact moment, how this can encourage your access, your ascension, to this inner light. When we think about this, we have to think about our current level, what our current status is. Because the map is not the territory. We say this a lot in neurolinguistic programming, even in terms of psychology, the map is not the territory. The present moment, today's day, does not mean how you are every day. So, sometimes, we take psychology terms or even tests, what we call assessment tests, to check how people are on that day, or even professionally, what their level is. You must have done this, sometimes looking for another job, a market repositioning, looking for a job. Everyone must have taken an English, Spanish, or Mandarin test, a logical reasoning test, a behavior test. And when we take this behavior, a very important thing that people don't talk about is that there is no horoscope in relation to our behavior. There are good days and bad days. Even the horoscope, from a millennial perspective of our ancestors, from ancient civilizations, has always been interpreted as a moment of evolution. There is no real horoscope. What exists is astrology and astronomy, yes, because they are serious sciences, they always have been. There has been a misinterpretation, and today, in fact, few people actually express this correctly, especially through the internet, because it is one of the forces we have to disseminate the correct form of astrology in astronomy. So, it is very important that you be very critical about the type of material you receive. There are already several people who saw the horoscope one day and sometimes even quit because they saw some type of situation, or even committed suicide. It's very important that we talk about this so you can qualify before thinking about diving into your thoughts. What level of information have you received? Because your thoughts are linked to your future. If you don't plant today, you won't harvest tomorrow. That is clear. You are sure of that, you are clear about that, but when it comes to execution, you do nothing about it. You forget these aspects, these little things that make all the difference in relation to your own prosperity and future. Remember, it is not in relation to the linear future. The future can be in 10 minutes. You can receive a call from someone you were really waiting for, it could be related to work, it could be related to an enterprise, it could be related to someone you love. The most important thing is to be aware that the more you master your thoughts, the more you bring this attention to yourself. Bringing this responsibility to yourself, instead of delegating, victimizing, placing the blame on the outside that it's others' fault, makes it easier to understand the problem you're currently facing in your life. You can even rethink the connection we have in relation to thought and karma. Karma is actually a science. Karma is not just spiritual, as people use it in a simplistic way. Karma is actually a law that you have. There are Vedic texts that we use through technology, but they were lost here in the West. We are increasingly rethinking this. If you've already been to Asia, you may have had such an experience. If you haven't been, go. Because you will have many experiences in relation to knowing how a large part of the world, which is a giant population of millions of people, thinks differently in relation to the West. This makes you think about what our true origin is. I'm saying this because the Vedas bring us a connection, I'm just giving an example, okay? The Vedic texts bring a conception regarding our existence in relation to karma. Why am I here? Do I have a reason to exist? Purpose? Mission in life? You must have heard about these words. What does this have to do with my thoughts? Total clarity, total connection. Because if at this exact moment you feel that there is something related to a certain person that you cannot do, a certain activity that you cannot do, you do not feel deserving, worthy of doing something. This has to do with karma. But remember, karma is not negative, karma is positive because everything in the universe is progress. Everything that is happening that you call a problem, everything that you call negative, everything you call impediments to ascend is positive. Because positive and negative are part of the universe. The more you understand this game that exists in the universe, the easier it will be to understand your thoughts. What happens a lot with people is, oh, I can't think. No. You have to think, you have to keep thinking because your thoughts make this machine work, the brain part, let's say, although we also have a mental part in our heart and in our digestive system. We have sensory neurons here, we have neurons in our intestines, in our digestive system. This is scientifically proven. You can search on the internet wherever you want. We have several references, and we teach this in our training sessions within the Academy of Alchemy of the Mind. I make an invitation here, if you want to take a new step in your life, access our website now. And then, choose a course that makes the most sense to your current moment. This can certainly help. We will also soon open new registrations for the Academy Level 1 Saturn. So, stay tuned. Subscribe to our email list too, which is very important for you to always be up to date with our news. This brings a will to learn more, a will to invest in your thoughts. When you are not connected to what everyone else says, oh, I can't think. You can think, but in a different way. You can understand why you are thinking negatively only. Is it really you, or is there some interference? Is there some vibration around you? This can be related to a family member who lives in your house, your apartment, where you reside at this very moment, or it could even be at work, someone emitting a negative particle. And since you don't protect yourself, you don't know this. And here, there is nothing mystical about it. We are vibration in both scientific and spiritual terms. A spirit or an obsessor, as some people say, won't appear right in front of you. It's not related to that. It has to do with vibration. You understand that this also interferes with who you are. Since we don't respect this, we don't study this, it doesn't interfere with our lives. Many people end up not advancing in relation to this knowledge. It's knowledge that is so ancient, so linear, that we think it's modern. Quite the opposite, there was a loss of this knowledge. It was so accurate, so ours, let's say, that our predecessors, our ancestors, used in ancient civilizations, like Lemuria. We see this in other civilizations, even more advanced than ours. We think today we are advanced, but we already had this type of work. So, realize that your thoughts are your friends. The main appeal today that I want to give, the main tip of today that I want to pass on to you is, treat your thoughts like your children, like your daughters. It's a metaphor, but like your little dog, like your little bird, something that you care for. And the more you care for it, the more this energy of forgiveness, the more the energy of love, light, prosperity, and abundance will approach you. Because what you are re-signifying is this vibration, and the re-signification of the vibration is long-term. And when it is long-term, it works. If you are willing to work, if you are willing to make an effort to have a life of purpose, to have a world-class life, an excellent life, a life in which you deserve, that life that you felt, I know I was born for something greater. I was not born to live just this. Feel it deep down in your heart, as if it were a void. And this void runs through your soul in such a way that you think, I need to do something in my life. So, the invitation I make to you is, do something today. Even if it's just writing in a notebook, writing somewhere that you want something new. Write it there as an exercise to motivate yourself. It's no use watching this video and doing nothing. The important thing is to start with a new action today. If you enjoyed this video, like it, comment, and share. Your collaboration is very important, and especially our interaction here on the channel. Besides, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, just press the red subscribe button and activate the notifications through the bell to receive firsthand whenever a new video is published. Also, if you are on another platform right now, access our YouTube channel, okay? I wish you an excellent day, much light and prosperity to you. A big hug and see you soon. Bye.